I need to hide him.
No, you keep him in. He might be like he might be a co-host.
Muffin the co-host.
Okay.
All right, everybody. It's Real Talk Real Estate with Chrishana and Nate. Thank you for joining our episode, listening in wherever you your podcast. So, Nate, let me know, what have you been up to this week? What's new?
Man, so I have a warehouse that I am representing the seller. So this warehouse is my listing. It's a unique property. So I've been just promoting that, and it's a little different because it's not like your typical home. So I've been like reaching out to different businesses, actually going to the business, talking to owners, seeing if they have leases or whatnot, just trying to create a buzz about my warehouse and just kind of networking from that perspective, trying to get people over. So that's what I've been doing. It's been cool, a little different, but that's what's new with me on my end over here in the Bay Area. What about you? How you been?
I've been good. Assisting clients get into their first home. Anytime I work with anybody that is a first time home buyer, I always tell them, don't sell your home. If you decide to move, you can start with one and build wealth. I like to encourage my clients to use this as a stepping stone to build their real estate portfolio and to buy other properties and just make that first home, if they decide to move out of it, a rental property, and then buy their second home and then rinse and repeat, because I want all my clients to win. I want everybody to be wealthy, and it starts with one property and you can win.
It's so many people that I've bumped into either at the gym or just in passing. A lot of people are just kind of like hesitant. They're kind of scared because of everything that's going on with the president and tariffs and all of that. And I think it has a lot of people stagnant. I talked to a man at the gym the other day. I actually got to give him a call after this podcast because he's like, "Yeah, man, I want to buy. I got like 20,000 saved up." I'm like, "Bro, you ready?" But it's just the matter of having that consultation. I think it's like the fear of commitment, the anxiety that just keeps people bound. So I've been trying to like get people to push through that. Like, what's really got you scared? Let's tackle that, right? And then let's get you moving forward. And so I think they just need a little encouragement, a little push, right? A little nudge in the right direction, or a gentle push.
Because sometimes people don't really know what their options are or what they can and can't do. So the unknown is scary to them. And I totally understand that. If you don't know, then how can you grow?
Right. And we are with EXP where the pros go to grow. So of course we gotta let them know. See what I did there? Boom, boom, boom. I tell people too, even as a realtor, going on 9 years, right? Like even before I got this house, I had the same anxiety that a first time home buyer will go through. Being that I've helped several families prior to, I still had the same anxieties. And so I get it. So that's why I try to share with them my stories too. Like I was scared, I was nervous. What if with this, what if that, right? But I just jumped in. I just jumped in, and that's the best decision that I've made. And I feel like my life has changed. My business has picked up because of, I guess, me making the change, right? Like business is booming. I feel pretty confident that this is going to be one of my best years, said carefully, Lord willing, right? Um, but I feel like that after making the decision, right? And then just changing my life and having different habits, and now that I have this home, you got to do different things. Like, you know, buying a house, it's not for everyone. You got to be responsible. You got to cut off. Like, I'm over here cooking. I can't be going to these restaurants. I'm cutting costs. Um, there's certain clothes I'm not taking to the cleaners no more. I'm over here ironing, right? So there's a lot of things that you got to shift to, compensate for, the big mortgage that you have. And so a lot of people see that as like a big ordeal. And it's just, just take your time and yeah, pace yourself. So,
Yes, and I mean that's real talk because we live in an apartment right now. We've had homes before. I mean, the cutting the grass, the weed eating, the cutting the trees back and planting, and if something goes wrong, you have to call the handyman yourself or fix it yourself. So absolutely, you got to do all
mhm.
of those things when you are a homeowner, but hey, it's yours. It's yours. Just to start off with that one property, you can start building your real estate portfolio.
Real talk. I can't wait until I'm able to share with everybody that I got my second one. I don't know how. I'm saving, I'm plotting, I'm looking at deals, right? But because it took me so long to get this. What I'm excited about, Chrishana, look, this is real talk. It took me so long to get my first property, right? But now we here now, and now like I'm excited to share what I'm trying to promote to the people. Like, look, I'm not only just a realtor, like I buy into the product, right? I'm trying to expand my portfolio. So let me just show you guys what I'll do. So that's why I'm really excited about getting another piece of property, whether it be like a condo or something I could just rent out, or whatever that is, just to expand, let this house build up equity and leverage what I can get from this one to get, even a multi-unit. I can't wait. So we'll see what the end of this year yields in regard to what I'll be able to do, but that's definitely the goal. This is not the dream. Look, the first home you get is not the forever home. It's not the white picket fence. Although I am going to, fix it up in here and make it really nice. You have to have a trading piece. People utilize homes as a trading piece, right? To leverage this, rinse and repeat, like you said. Let it build some equity, put some sweat equity into it, then buy you a step up from here, right? Boom. Now I can move over maybe to Benicia, and then live there a couple of years or whatever, and leverage that. And if I want to move to the hills of Oakland, then I'll have a leverage piece from there, right? But you got to build. You don't just jump into the house on the hill in Oakland. You don't. All right. And I think that's what people think. Like,
Right.
oh, yeah, you don't, unless you got you won a lottery or whatever. But us common folks, we got to start from the ground up, right? So,
And that's real talk. I appreciate you for saying that, you basically eat your own cooking. You're not just telling the people, but you also doing it. So I have an example so we just closed a deal. My client just closed a deal, and I was able to find him $22,000 in
whoop, whoop.
credits funding, and he even got a check at the closing table. I was like, go ahead, right? He was able to use that credit to buy down his rate. So
Mhm.
whatever the rate is right now, he don't gotta pay that.
Right.
And I mean, that's so important to, get with the right agent that can team you up with the right people that can help you do things like that. And I mean, whatever you are afraid of right now, as far as the interest rate goes, it may not even be your situation, and you're afraid of what you see other people going through, and that's not even your situation. It's not a blanket for everybody. Everybody's situation is different and it's unique to you.
True, and that's real talk. That's a solid example. Um, and what I'm seeing too, I don't want to quote uh, the statistics, right? Because I don't have them before me, but I'd say a little less than half of the sellers this first quarter, half of the sellers in the Bay Area have given out concessions to buyers, right? And so what she's mentioning concessions is where the seller pays the buyer some type of money to help them close, whether it be 5, 10, $15,000. And those concessions can be utilized to buy down the rate, right? They can be utilized to keep some of the out of pocket money in pocket, right, for yourself. So that is what I'm seeing. This market is somewhat shifting into a buyer's market because of that. And so this is what I'm trying to share with buyers. This is where you take advantage of the sellers being willing to do that. It's kind of the normal now. And it's not going to be like that always. It's not going to be like that always. I'd say whenever the interest rates do lower, the sellers are not going to be giving concessions like they are now. So I really feel like I got to keep hitting the nail over the head with take advantage of the fact that the sellers can give you 15, $20,000. That's way better than lowering the price, right? So hopefully, like you see the light bulb, like wow, if you act now, and then not only will the seller give those concessions when you're utilizing agents like myself and Chrishana, we also are, resourceful enough to bring $10,000 to $15,000 to the pot for just grant money in addition to. So it's a lot of opportunity, right? And I'm just kind of annoyed with people not taking advantage of it when this is right before you and you're just kind of hesitant, double dutching like you don't want to, jump rope. They double dutching like they don't want to get in
Yeah.
there. And so I really feel like it's a buyer's market, and to take advantage of it right now, it's going to heat up. The sun's out, everybody's out, right? Like I don't want. I feel like people are going to be looking around next year like, man, I wish I would have. And don't bring that over here because it's like, hey, man, we was telling you, I'm telling you every day, like, man, dude, look. So in addition to what I was saying about it being a buyer's market, for those particular buyers that are looking for new construction, same deal. The um, developers are offering types of buyer incentives for either your closing costs, or you can get some design like credit, maybe $5,000 to $10,000 to upgrade, your model home. These are deals where it's not like that all throughout the year. I went to a development not too long ago. I think I'm gonna make a video about it. Yeah, they were like, Nate, yeah, we got like $15,000 in credit. You just have to use our financing, but you could still get that same deal and use your own financing as well. But
Exactly.
right, but they throw that out there. But that lets me know that there's room to negotiate. They're flexible. They need buyers, right? And so that's another way to take advantage of those that are specifically looking for new construction. So there's a lot of opportunity out there. You just gotta commit. You gotta want it. You gotta roll up your sleeves. You gotta talk to a lender. I think people don't want to even talk to a lender because they feel like it's some sort of commitment. Or talk to a realtor like they feel like, oh, I don't want to talk to you yet, Chrishana, because I'm not ready. Bruh, you do not have to be ready. You just want to assess your situation. Like
Exactly. Yeah, no, just assess the situation and just, even just get some advice, discover. I always say my discovery calls are free. If you just want to see, what could be or what the possibilities are, I mean, we can talk about it. And yes, there are still grants out there right now, but they're running out because people are actually taking advantage, and you don't want to miss out on those opportunities.
Right. And the worst thing that can happen, right? You so reluctant to have a discovery call or talk to a lender or a realtor. The worst thing that can happen, Krishana, is you can buy next week. That's the worst thing that can happen, right? The worst thing is you ready.
Yep, and it work out. The worst
Right.
thing
Like
is it'll
you
work
can go
out.
shopping tomorrow. That's the worst thing that can happen.
I just had a client say that they were not ready to move forward because it started happening so fast. And I was like,
Mhm.
this is why we're here. This is what you wanted. So there can also be a fear of, wow, this is really happening. Like, let's pump the brakes. But, ultimately, it's your decision. And whenever you're ready, we're here.
So I
Right.
find it too that like uh, I'm a friend of mine, a gym buddy. I've been trying to like spend some time with him on lunch. He's been watching me closing deals and moving and grooving. He just was like, "Hey man, um, I got to get myself ready, so I'm gonna call you in May." So I DM'd him back like, "Bro, I don't know what you feel like you got to get ready. There's a mystery I got to get ready situation for all the buyers that I guess they feel like they know what they need to do. You don't know what you need to do unless you talk to myself or a lender, right, to sit you down and assess your situation, debt to income ratio, and all that. So I just encourage him, like, hey, bro, it's easier than what you think. Just give me a call, low pressure to no pressure, right? Lunch on me. Let's talk about your goals and let's get you there. So hopefully he'll reach out to me. I gave him my number, but you may not have to pay down every single one of your credit cards. You may not have to pay off your car. You may not have to do all of these things that your mind feels like you need to do. You just may not have to. And it could hurt you with what you try to do to get ready. So, real talk, you need to just have a consultation.
And you don't need perfect credit. That is that is the biggest myth, that you need to have perfect credit before you can get a loan on a house. There's help out here. Absolutely.
There's help out here. You don't need 20%. You don't need a lot of money. You just need to have the want, the desire to be a homeowner. It's got to be stronger than your obstacles. And then you pair that with a strong realtor, and we gonna get you there, right? I think that's what I've found is someone that is very motivated to make the change. As my lender says, a lot of buyers they just sit and do nothing because analysis paralysis, right?
Wait, just wait. Wait. My dog needs to use the bathroom.
Taking my baby to the bathroom.
Are you ready to get off the fence?
Man, that fence gonna fall on somebody and hurt somebody. This is Real Talk with Chrishana and Nate, where we talk straight about real estate.
Bringing you news, events, real life, and what's happening in our local areas, from the East Coast to the West Coast.
I'm Nathan Hancock, serving the Greater Bay Area of California.
And I'm Chrishana Wilson, serving Eastern and Central North Carolina.
Catch us every Friday morning on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.